So the network was not as good, but we are back. So I was telling you that irrespective of how your year was, now is not the time to console ourselves. Now is not the time to cry over our shoulders. Now is not the time to regret of what happened, but rather to recollect ourselves and move on. But rather to pull up ourselves and move on. This is a fact of the matter. Because what happened in business happened. What happened even in normal life happened. So now is not the time to, remember all the things that happened since January to now towards the close of the year, and you're still consoling yourself over the deals that you failed to close, over the things that didn't come through, over the businesses that collapsed. Now is not the time. Because I guarantee you, for the whole of the year, you must have spent a bit of energy. And I understand that while starting the year, it planned. But somewhere, things turned hayway. Things turned upside down. So it's not your fault. Perhaps you did your best. Perhaps you did what you were meant to do with your stuff. So that's why I say that it's not the time to blame yourself for all that happened in the year, but rather to commend yourselves for the positives that happened in the year and for the great things that happened in the year and how you actually contributed to the happening of those great things that happened in the year. So now is the time to think of the positive ones that happened and check off the negative ones as you prepare yourself towards the new year with new prospects. I understand that while starting the year, you must have had your goals. If it were a business, perhaps you engaged your team, you collected your team and you retreated. That's why some of the institutions retreat. You retreated, you discussed with your staff on how the year is going to roll out, on how things are going to happen. You shared responsibilities and the key things you have to deliver on. Yeah, you are wishing the best of the best. And perhaps I assume that you also contributed towards the progress, or you did your best of the best. I remember the scripture that says in Colossians 3:23 that in everything that you do as unto the Lord. That you do as unto the Lord. That everything that you do as unto the Lord. Meaning that even if it is sweeping that office, even if it is cleaning that table, even if it is making those collections, even if it is, processing that loan, for example, Jonaki Holdings, you do it as though you're doing it as unto the Lord. And that also gives you the energy that even when you're a bit tired, it's not you serving you, but rather it is you serving the public. And in serving the public, you are serving the Lord. And that's why it requires you to be excellent in all that you do. In all that you do. So perhaps you planned your things all the year. And I assume that it was your wish that things move well. And perhaps you gave it your best shot. Of course, there are some that didn't give their best of the best. And in the heart of hearts, whether staff, whether CEOs, whether directors, whether the owner of the business, in the heart of hearts how you contributed to the growth of that business. You know the efforts that you contributed towards the growth of that business. And if you did not commit commensurate what you plan to commit, if you didn't put in the energy that you had actually planned to put in, you know very well that you did not put in the effort. But nevertheless, now is not the time to console yourself that, behold, I did not put in the effort required, so that contributed to the collapse of the business that I had, or that led to the poor performance of the business that I run. Now is not the time to console yourself, but rather the time to recollect yourself, but rather the time to highlight the positive things that happened along the year and how you contributed towards them, and perhaps pick a few things that you know that you can carry forward to the next year. So crowning the year, as per today's topic, crowning the year of business with glory, meaning that it means that there are key things that happened to your wish. I really, really know that there are some things that moved as planned. So it's now time to appreciate your team. It's now time to appreciate yourself for the things that went well, for the growth that you experienced, for the lessons that you learned from the failures. The only thing that you should pick from the failures that happened since January to now December 2021 is a few things that didn't happen and what you learned from that. So I want to get two things. One is that do not concentrate or console yourself for the things that didn't happen as planned, for the things that didn't work out, for the deals that did not close. Now is not the time to think about that, but rather the only thing that you can pick from that is what lessons do you learn from such negative experiences, from such deals that you didn't close, from such a few things that you didn't implement. What do you learn from that, and how do you intend to roll them over to 2022, and how are they going to benefit you? And how are you making sure that you do not repeat the very things, the very negative things that contributed to non-closure of that deal, that contributed to the collapse of that business? So that if you're thinking of starting a new business, it should start on another pace, because there are a few lessons that you learned for the things that didn't happen, for the things that didn't go well. And you can pick a few of those and integrate them as you start this new business. And lo and behold, who knows, it might grow to higher heights if you commit and if you do as you actually plan at the start of the year. The challenge that you usually have is that you plan very, very properly at the start of the year. And barely after 1 month or 2 months, you put a plan aside and you start doing something different. And I guarantee you'll come back again, as we shall be, God willing, as we shall be crowning the year 2022, you'll still be remembering the negative things. You'll still be crying. You see? You'll still be crying. If you do not pick on the lessons that you learned from the negatives, roll over the positives that you can roll over for the growth of your business, you might still have the same consolations, the same crying, or perhaps even the same lessons that you're learning from this other previous year. So it's important that what you learn from the negatives is what you should actually pick, roll over the positives for the new year. So you have quite an interesting experience. We have a tendency to know that we plan to achieve ABCD in this year. And as we are moving towards the close of the year, we tend to actually catch up and do very, very much, thinking that we can compensate for the time lapses, for the energy lapses, for the knowledge lapses, for the commitment lapses that happened in the previous year. Now that is wrong. I remember one of our staff, when we were having this year's dinner to discuss how the year was and how we are planning for the next year, the staff had not worked on Tuesday, and she had some bit of work she was meant to do. So when she missed out on Tuesday, then I communicated that Friday we are meeting for our dinner and discuss how the year was and how we intend to roll over and thrive in 2022. So the thing that the staff posted on our staff WhatsApp forum is that, we didn't work on Tuesday. So now Friday is another day that we are proposing not to work. And yet there's a lot of work we have to actually do. Now, in the heart of hearts, I really understood the plight of this staff. But in the other end, I also realized that this person might be thinking that the work that we didn't do in the previous year can actually be accomplished in these other few days remaining towards the end of the year, which is most likely the case to most of the businesses. We think that if you've not done ABCD the previous year, if you've not handled clients well, if you've not paid our debts, if you've not rectified our processes and systems, all those things can actually be done towards the end of the year. That's quite unfortunate, and it's very, very bad. You end the year when you're very, very fatigued, when you're very, very tired, and yet you do not accomplish all that you plan to accomplish. Because you need to ask yourself, whereas the months were moving from January, June, July, towards the end of the year, December, what is it that stopped you from accomplishing all that you plan to accomplish? And what makes you think that all the things that you didn't accomplish then, all the sales that you didn't close then are going to be closed now? So the only thing I say to this stuff is that, you know what, I don't think these 2 days are the ones that would have that are going to change the destiny of Jonah-Key Holdings Limited. I don't even think that the sales that we shall make or the deals that we shall close in the 2 days are the ones that are going to make our revenues turn 360 degrees. Maybe some businesses could happen, but it's a rare case. Things that you did not achieve in the 12 months, you cannot achieve them in just a matter of weeks. And that's why December, people choose to call it a holiday. People go for holidays, people go for resting, because you need to energize yourself. You need to crown the year with glory. You need to crown the year of business with glory, as per today's topic. Because you need to be winding up. It is like growing in age. You know, if you are 25, things are still happening. Perhaps you just completed the campus and you're still energetic, you're working and all that. As you walk towards 30, you start establishing yourself. Then 35, 40, 50, you start winding up a little bit. Then 60. That's why they say retirement is at 60 in some cases, but there are some who believe that there is no retirement. So you keep crowning it as the age multiplies. Realize that the work that you did at 25, if you came to do it at 60, you'll break your bones. It might be very hard. Whereas you used not to get tired at 25, now at 35 or 40 or 50, you feel fatigued when you do even some little work. Why? Because you need to be winding up. You need to be winding up. All the years should be contributing towards the end of the year. As we have a proverb in Runyankore that buto eyombekera bukuru. You know, young age constructs or establishes for the old age. Meaning that if you do not work at young age, if you do not work while you're still energetic and young, it might be cumbersome for you to compensate for all the other years that you did not work to accumulate some bit of wealth towards your old age. You start remembering to cover yourself when it's actually morning. And that's how it's unfortunate. So relating it to today's topic is that if we do not achieve the things in all the other months, it's quite unlikely that we shall achieve them in this 1 month. So what am I telling you is that we are ending there by God's grace. That irrespective of the challenges that happened, irrespective of the ups and downs, irrespective of the hiccups, irrespective of the COVID, we are ending there, crowned with glory and honor. And for us Christians, we know that we are not toiling. We are not toiling. Because that's a mentality for toiling. That even when you're walking towards the end of the year, you want to work till 24th afternoon. Honestly, the businesses that you didn't do the whole year, are you going to accomplish them in that one day or this other last few days of the month? And then we fail to realize that if you do not crown it well, at a strong point of view, encouraged and energetic, it might be very hard to fire up, to pick up at the start of the year 2022. You need to have new energies. You need to have new freshness. You know, you have to be fresh a little bit. You need to have fully rested a little bit. So that as you start the new year, you bring on board new energies, new strength to thrive through the year. So I come to tell you that let's not keep at work so much, thinking that the things that we didn't achieve in all the other months are going to be achieved in the other last days of the year. It is time to rest. It is time to relax. It is time to reunite. It is time to get together. It is time to associate with our colleagues. It is time for families to blend and mend. It is time to freshen up. It is time towards the end of the year so that we can start the year 2022 on a higher notch. And that's why I'm telling you that even today's sharing, this is the last video or the last live stream that I'm doing this year, 2021. so that I can also prepare, so that I can also re-energize myself for the year 2022. And I really, really look forward to the great prospects that the Lord has prepared for us come 2022. So that's a message I had for you today, that let's crown this year with glory and honor. And this does not matter how things turn out to be. We understand the lockdowns that happened. We understand the COVID that happened. We understand the few closures of businesses that happened. But now is not the time to console ourselves, because some of the things that happened were outside our hands. We didn't have control. If I may give you an example of COVID-19, we didn't contribute to this. We didn't cause it. At least for Ugandans, we didn't. We didn't even contribute to its happening, but somehow it happened. So some of the things that we should be blaming ourselves on, we might not have contributed to them. So even if you blame yourself, apart from learning the lessons of the things that happened, even if you blame yourself, you won't change a thing. What already happened. Now is the time to look forward for the new prospects, for the new things, for the new engagements, for the new commitments, for the new deals. Now is the time for those who go for holidays. Now is the time for those who have colleagues, associations, that you go camping, you go what. That's the time to establish networks. Now is the time to network, to associate, to reunite, and have some fun. Have some fun responsibly, and keep in good health. That well, as we're closing the year, you do not come year 2022 when you're injured in a way, or when you're hurt in a way, especially for COVID. Bit of a small resurgency, but God is faithful. We shall get through it. Let's take care of ourselves. Let's protect ourselves. Mask up, and wash our hands, sanitize our hands, so that we can start the year 2022 in good health with new energies. Guys, I love you so much, and I really appreciate you guys who walked this journey with me personally, or who endeavor to tune in all the year. Elon, Sam, and all the guys that are watching, I really, really appreciate. And one thing I tell you is that let's get our minds off the things that didn't happen. Let's get our minds off the deals that didn't happen, and then roll over to the things that are going to happen 2022. And let's be positive. Let's be expectant. And let's trust the Lord that things are going to get better. Things are going to get better for the good of our lives, for the good of our families, for the good of our communities. Because as I earlier shared in my previous broadcasts, which I actually posted on YouTube, so you can check them out, Jonan Kandwanaho on YouTube, and you can rewatch, where I say that we don't serve ourselves, we serve the public, irrespective of the work that you do. Whether you have a business or not, even if you're employed, you're not serving yourself, you're serving the public. So let's understand that it's not us who benefit of our services sometimes, or most times, or even all the times, and appreciate the few notches that happened well, and see how we can start the year 2022 on a good note. For those who kept postponing, as I always shared, is that postponement is an enemy for growth. If you keep postponing things, if you keep postponing your plans and goals, if you keep postponing a few deals that you wanted to close, it's quite unfortunate. You're going to start the year with a bit of energies. If you relax, you start the year with strength, a lot of prospects, lots of, But then, if you don't commit to what you said you would do, and you keep postponing, it's quite an enemy. So if you planned on doing something, you might not necessarily do it end of the year, or in the last few days of the year, where you need to relax and rest a little bit, but rather know that these things that I've committed on, I'm actually going to do them. Come and buy. And that's only then that you're actually going to experience the growth in your business. You're going to experience the growth in all that you're doing, even in your career. For those who are formally employed, that's how, if you plan to undergo that course, go for it. It's not the time to postpone. It's not the time to rethink. Now it's new strategies, new approach. You have no excuse. let's start the new year, and let's not stop at outlining things that we're going to achieve in the year, but rather follow through with the plans on how we're going to achieve them. Because then we shall be having fresh energies, new minds, new thoughts, new plans, and God willing, we shall ably achieve those things. We shall ably achieve those things. Let's not plan in vain. Let's not plan in vain. I thank you guys. I appreciate you. Our time is almost fast spent. I also encourage you that you check out a few lessons from the videos that I've already shared, even from our website, www.jonakeholdingslimited.com, and learn one or two things. And as I've already shared, that if you learn one or two things and you do not implement, then you will not only have wasted your time coming here for the live stream, but also you'll have wasted my time and my data. You'll have wasted my time and my data coming here to speak to you. So learn one or two things, go and implement. Go and implement. Go and implement. If you're still opening business, even up to now, I understand how dearly you need money, but it is important that you also rest. Rest up fully so that you can gear up for the new year. It will be unfortunate to start the new year on lower note. It will be unfortunate to start the new year on low energies. You need to get energetic. You need to get strong so that you can start the year on a new tune. And I'll be very excited, very, very excited to see you come 2022, the new energies, new approach to things, and new commitments that you definitely will not postpone, but rather commit to deliver on. I thank you so much. I love you guys so much. God bless you. I speak a blessing over you in these festives. I speak a blessing and protection, God's hand over your families, that even amidst COVID, amidst every challenge, God is going to protect you. As it says in Psalms 118:17, that we shall not die, but we shall live to speak of God's greatness in the land of the living. So I speak that over you, over your families, over your properties, over your businesses, that we shall not toil, but rather we shall thrive. Come 2022, we shall thrive. We're trusting the Lord that He's going to lead us through. Thank you guys. Have a great evening. For those who are traveling, safe travels. For those who are keeping in town, we wish you the very best and God's hand of protection. Let's endeavor to protect ourselves and keep ourselves masked up, sanitize. Thank you so much, and God richly bless you. Thank you. Bye-bye, and blessings.